morning.
The Agape Center, Lynchburg. Tell us your name and your role.
Okay, well, my name is Debbie Kuntz, and I am the director of the Agape Center, Lynchburg.
That's a big job.
It is a big job.
I've read through all this paperwork. It's a big job. So the thing I always like to start with the thing that seems the most important to me. And the one thing that stood out to me is you all's your client mentor program.
Yes.
So tell us how that works.
Yes, and I'm so tickled that you actually recognize that as being the most important because there's a lot of clothing pantries, food pantries, a lot of different resources in our area that allow us to be able to help provide for those that are in need. But with our mentoring program, that is like the heart of our ministry, and we would not exist if that was not a part of it. It gives us the opportunity to meet one-on-one with the people that are coming through to actually get to really understand what you're going through, maybe try to be able to offer other resources that could be in the area that could be helpful. But it's also a chance to be able to encourage and to pray with the clients that are coming through, to give them that opportunity to see that they are seen and they are heard, that how much they are loved and valued, and we're not just giving you handouts. We want to actually understand you and give you a hand up.
Mm-hmm. Well, because if you understand them, then you can help them so much more.
Exactly.
And I love this constantly throughout things in your website. The statement is made is it is where you are seen, heard, and loved.
Yeah.
And that is so important.
Yeah.
If you're not seen, heard, and loved and do not feel that every day as a human, functioning is very, very difficult.
Right.
So how does someone become a mentor?
There is a process in going through. We do have an online application if somebody's interested. We do want to make sure, because we are a Christ-centered ministry, that is the one area that we need to make sure that you're foundational in your relationship with your walk with Jesus Christ. And from there, you do get trained. It's very important that we understand that we're not counselors, we're mentors. So anybody that, number one, has a relationship with Christ, and number two, that they really like people and they're good listeners. That's the key part right there, is if you can listen. I mean, you sit there and you can have a relationship with a friend and you're just sitting there listening to their problems and whatnot. It's the same thing, is that somebody's coming in and we try to offer the room, much like this one, to just make it look inviting and where you can just exhale when you come in, because a lot of our clients come in a chaotic situation. They're living just barely keeping their head above water, or they live in chaos. And so to have a room that is just very calming, where you can just sit down and relax and then share whatever you want to with somebody that's going to be sitting right next to you or across from you, giving you that eye contact and uninterrupted. The phone is off. I'm here for you. So that gives them that opportunity to be able to just open up. And when you get that on a regular basis, then that helps to build that trust. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense, because you're creating a safe space,
Yes.
a safe environment where they can come in and they can share. And I think the biggest part of any healing process is having a conversation about someone, either about the problem, and it may not be a problem, it probably is a problem, a living situation, a lack of things you need that you have to function on a daily basis. I don't think a lot of us, there were a couple of things on your website that made me giggle a little bit, because um, one of the things that was mentioned was the lady that wanted the dining room table, and you didn't have a dining room table, but
Yeah.
that afternoon someone comes in their SUV and they have a dining room table.
Yeah.
And then for people like me and so many other people, I think it's fundamental for children to have toys, and to think about a little boy that doesn't have a toy truck just absolutely breaks my heart, because it's so little to us as an adult, but it's so much for that child at that time in their life, that it's just, to me, that's huge. And for me to focus on that from the website, some people may think it's very odd, but
Yeah.
I just think when I was a little boy, if I didn't have my Tonka truck, what would I have done? I couldn't function.
And you know what's funny is that we really don't, because we're a small facility, we don't really have a lot of
Toys.
room for toys.
No.
And so for that to be something that was just so important, and it's fun because we're always able to, we always point it back to God, because this was something that God saw your need. We didn't. We're just like a catalyst to be able to pass these off. So we always make sure that every client that comes through, especially if there's something that they receive that they're like, oh my word, I didn't think I could get this, that they understand that this is not from us. This is from God. He sees you. He hears your need, and he's providing for you. So yeah, that's sweet that you read about the
I
toys.
just thought that was awesome. I thought that. So there's an application process to become a mentor, and then with the holidays coming up, with Thanksgiving and Christmas coming up,
Correct.
tell us about you all do meals for people, and then you give them a gift card for a turkey.
Okay, so yeah, the way that we provide the items necessary to prepare your own meal. We don't even have a kitchen in our center. But yeah, the past couple of years we gather the items to put together in a bag, and then we also provide a gift card, and it has been strictly to be able to use only for, it even says it on the gift card, to use for a turkey, a ham, or produce. That way it's going, because all the other items are actually in the bag, stuff like potatoes or corn or green beans, the things that you need for a Thanksgiving meal. Yeah, so
you all do that at Thanksgiving and Christmas?
We do that at Thanksgiving. At Christmas, we have this is our 4th year. For Christmas, we kind of revamp our clothing closet areas, and we turn them into stores. So we collect brand new toys, and then we set up the rooms based on age groups for the parents to be able to shop for their children to get brand new toys. Yeah.
So, and I guess from that, we can maybe talk about the items that you do take and the items that you do not take, because there's things that you
Don't take. Right. On a regular basis, you mean? Like our everyday operations, or
well,
are you talking specifically for the holidays?
I'm talking about everyday operations. Okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I moved on to something else.
That's okay. I'm just trying to stay in line with you.
Sort of my segue was not. I wasn't
Was not
carrying you
a
on my
good
journey there.
Read your mind.
That's exactly right. Please,
Okay.
don't do that.
Okay.
So, you all take food, clothing, gently used clothing, hygiene and cleaning items, housewares, furniture. So, sort of give me a little bit broader range, if you will, on the things that you do take and the things that you do need.
Sure. Okay, so the things that we do take, we'll start with furniture. That's the biggest part. The furniture, we are really limited in our warehouse. The things that go out really quick are things like dressers, bookcases, kitchen tables, sofas, love seats, recliners, coffee tables. We do not take beds or bed frames. We do not take like the big encased TV, like armoire, TV cabinets. We don't take things like that. Desks, we don't take those type of things. As a matter of fact, with the beds, we actually had started a while ago a bed program where we actually purchased those box beds and the frames, because we were finding a lot of times people would donate either frames and not all the pieces would be there, or mattresses. Their idea of what might be clean and good compared to what they brought would be two different things. Plus, with a brand new mattress, it's another way of offering dignity to somebody, which is very, very important in what we're doing at Agape. So we get these box mattresses and a platform. And that's also easier to get into somebody's car. A lot of times the mattresses were too big. They couldn't get them home. And it kind of defeats the purpose when you have to rent a trailer or something to come and get your bed, because we're trying to save you money. and that. So anyhow, so those are some of the furniture items. Household items are things like small appliances, coffee pots, cookware, pots and pans, microwaves, toaster ovens. Also things like table lamps or floor lamps, bedding, gently used bedding or brand new bedding. We'll take either one. The idea is to make sure, and bath towels, make sure things are clean and neat. You know, if you don't feel comfortable on that, don't pass it on. Clothing, seasonal clothing right now, because of our facility not being real large, we can only take seasonal. So right now we're collecting for, the coats, hats, gloves, all that kind of thing. Winter clothing, toiletry items. Ooh, that's a fun one, because we're doing things like for house cleaning as well as body cleaning, and always toilet paper. We always try to provide the toilet paper for our clients when they come through. And then we have a little area where they can shop for either house cleaning items like laundry detergent, dish soap, all-purpose cleaner, bleach. Those things go flying off the shelves almost as quickly as they come in. Then we also have an area for body cleaning, and that would be like deodorant, your shampoo, conditioner, body wash, those type of things.
So, and housewares, even some books.
Uh-huh.
Which is...
Especially Bibles and devotionals. But I mean, yeah, fun reading books too. Absolutely.
I think that if people, I'm sure there's some people that think that this is odd, but I have a brother and 3 sisters, and I'm the youngest of 5, and I'm not young by any means now. But we do devotionals together every morning at 8 o'clock.
Okay.
So I think for, Bibles, devotional items, children's Bible storybooks, that's just amazing. I mean, it's something that seems maybe small, which is actually
huge. Just like a truck.
Yes.
Just like a truck.
Just like
a toy truck, yeah.
Just like a truck. So a lot of these people, the clients, are you all their only avenue for these items? I mean, I'm sure they could try to go to some of the other area nonprofits as well.
Yes. In certain things that we are, it's very limited. I think there's only 2 places, including ourselves, maybe a third place that offers beds or furniture. So those things are harder to come by. In terms of the food and the clothing, there are quite a few different avenues around that, different other resources there. And sometimes if we're unable to help somebody, then we do refer them to other places too. Because our hours are so limited right now. Currently, we're on Tuesdays and select Fridays. But there's other places. So if somebody calls us on a day that we're not open, then we might refer them to someplace else that would be, have other hours.
Well, I mentioned earlier before we got started that our first guest on our podcast when we started the podcast was
From United Way.
United Way. And as I've gone through this, I have been absolutely shocked because I did not realize how so many of the local nonprofits actually work together with one another to fulfill the needs of the community. Because the needs are so vast, there's no way that one program or one nonprofit can fulfill all the needs. It absolutely is amazing to me the outpouring of love and sharing and caring and giving that is in the city of Lynchburg. And the 4 surrounding counties. Yeah. It has blown my mind, quite frankly.
And the other thing that's really nice, I think the 211 also has that, United Way has the 211 resource. I didn't know if you're familiar with that or if she shared about that, which is a phenomenal resource where you just literally dial 211 and I think you get to speak with somebody 24/7 who will help you in whatever area you're looking for, whether it's food, clothing, daycare, maybe trying to job placement, all that kind of stuff. And you just tell that person who answers the phone what your area is of need, and they will find somebody in your local area that can help you.
Yeah, Humankind, a representative from Humankind was on, and they were having the conversation about how they actually sat down with people and helped them with job resumes.
Yeah.
So that they could get a job. I mean, because if you cannot earn income to support your family, I mean, that's devastating to a person.
Yeah.
Mentally, physically, socially. It's amazing. It's
And
absolutely,
Parkview Mission has something along those lines too, getting a head program or something along those lines.
yes.
So it is wonderful to, as we start learning about each other, and we really need to understand what each other does, because some of us, like for somebody to refer someone to Agape, they need to understand you need to have an appointment to come in. We're not set up for emergency situations. So it's kind of difficult when somebody contacts us or just maybe tries to come in on a day because they heard that we're not even open. And that's kind of devastating to them because, oh, we heard that you do this for us. So understanding each of the nonprofits kind of need to understand what are the boundaries, what are the stipulations around each one so that we're not making a client or somebody that's in need more difficult. Does that make sense?
It makes total sense.
Yeah.
It makes total sense. And let's talk about the hours because your drop off hours for donations are Tuesdays, Fridays, and the third Saturday of each month from 10 to 1:30. Is that correct?
Yes.
So, and what other hours are you open and what do you do in those hours?
Okay, so we're not on those other hours. And there is a change coming in January. I'll share that in a minute. Yes, we are open currently every Tuesday, Friday, and the third Saturday to receive donations between 10 and 1:30. We are 100% run by volunteers. We are 100% run by donations. So even our volunteer resources are limited right now. So we are not open any of the other days, just those days. There are other behind the scenes things that might take place. For example, on Thursdays, currently we have a food truck delivery. So we have a group of people that meet the food truck every Thursday and help to unload and restock our pantry. We also have a couple of days where we pick up. Chick-fil-A has been a generous contributor to the Agape Center, where we pick up Chick-fil-A food on a regular basis and bring it to. So that's causing more volunteer needs because even though we're not necessarily tangibly at the building to receive donations, there's still a lot of behind the scenes things that are taking place.
People are working.
And people are working.
That's exactly right. Mm-hmm. So let's talk. We love to talk about this donations.
Okay.
And how people can donate.
Yes.
So we talked about the drop off and they can bring, but of course, there's always ways that people can donate financially. So you have direct donations, employer matching gifts, honor memorial donations. Tell us a little bit about each of those if you can remember it. If not, I can tell you there's 5 of them.
Yes, there are 5 of them, and thank you, because you might have to give me a clue on some of them. So, yeah, there's a variety of ways that you can donate. The easiest one is probably just, go on there and you've got the donate and pay net or a check or, any of that kind of stuff. We're still working on different ways to get the community involved. Some of it is like through the, I guess it's wills. There's something in there. I know you've got the paperwork right there.
Yeah, well, you have, you're talking about a legacy donation.
Legacy donation. Thank you. I lost my train of thought.
Leave Agape a donation in your will. Your legal advisor can explain the many options available.
Thank you.
So, yes,
that was one of them.
And that is huge.
Yeah. So that one is one. Even just like one of you saying like we talked like this month actually. There's Mission Thrift is helping to support us business-wise in terms of like a roundup program. Mm-hmm. So different businesses can participate in things like that, just round up, and they're doing it for the whole month of September. And so whatever has been rounded up goes to the Agape Center. Personally, you can talk to your employer and find out, if we donate a certain amount, would you match that? So that type of thing. Did I cover all of them or?
Well, yeah, there's direct donations. Just go to the website and make a donation or send in a check. Employer matching gifts, which you just mentioned. The legacy donations, stock donations, which a lot of people, it's over your head.
Yeah.
It's kind of over my head too, but I have an understanding. And a lot of people will have stocks and bonds and things of that nature, and all of a sudden they're at a point in their life where they think, what am I going to do with this money? I know most recently, well, it's been probably about a year now, I had a friend that passed away, and she had been married, but they never had children. So as things were progressing with her towards the end of her life, it was, what am I going to do with what I have? And that's sad, but yet it's also, there's always something good that comes out of something bad, because the flip side was, um, the conversation was had, okay, let's talk about all these different places, and which one of these best fits your heart, that's going to make you feel good, and leave what you have to these places, and or either to different ones, which is what ended up happening, was it went to different ones. So I think a lot of people, actually, I've seen, they have stocks and bonds, they have investments, and they really, they may live off of part of the return from the investments, but they never think about what they're going to do with those investments when they're no longer here. And if they don't have children, or if their children have plenty, and it's a really, really, it's strange to even think that people would have those sort of funds and not know what they're going to do with them when they're not here on earth.
Right.
And you mentioned the excuse me, employer matching gifts, and then I guess tying into the legacy donations, there's honor memorial donations, so people can make financial donations in honor of a mother or a father that's passed, or
Right.
a brother, a sibling, or something, and that's huge.
You explain that all so well. The financial aspect is not my area of expertise. I'm more the
It's really
personalized
not
side.
mine.
You,
I've been forced to learn.
well, you did very well. I'm
Forced.
impressed.
So you have an application. If people want to serve, you have an application. They fill out an application.
Yeah.
And
And there's a huge need for that.
yes,
Just to say, we're finishing off these hours in this year, because that's what's on there. But starting in January, we're changing things up a little bit, because right now it's just kind of all over the board. Whether you're open from 10 to 2, 10 to 1, 10 to 12, that type of thing. Certain select Fridays, da 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 da. Starting in January, it's going to be, we're open every Tuesday, Thursday, and the third Friday from 10 to 2, period. With that happening, that the exception would be on the 5th. If it's on the 5th Thursday or Friday, we won't, Thursday or Tuesday, we won't be open for clients, but still open for donations. With that happening, we're open for more days and longer hours, and that's really creating a need to serve our more clients. Needing more volunteers, because we're going to be serving more clients. Currently, we're probably averaging about, each month with the 2 days that we're open, we're averaging around 220 households, which is affecting about 680 individuals.
people.
Right. That's going to be growing, as soon as we start in January with, like I said, longer hours, more days. So the need for volunteers is tremendous. Committed volunteers. Even if it's just like 5 hours once a month, if you can be consistent on that, for example, first Thursday, 5 hours once a month, you're going to be serving with the same people, most likely. You'll probably see similarly the same clients that come through, which also gets that relationship building. There's a lot of touch points throughout the building as as clients are coming through, to be able to, just show God's love.
Well, and there's, I always encourage my agents to do volunteer work and to get involved and give back to the community. And I know when I started selling real estate almost 43 years ago, that's the first thing I did, was I got involved in volunteer work. I was on some boards, and just, you have to give to receive. So you've got to get out there. So where you all are concerned, there's so many things that people can do, and so many things that you need help with. And my favorite out of these was, it says birthday card writer.
Yeah, that's so much fun.
Well,
We give birthday baskets.
but the thing of it is who gets mail anymore? And if I get a birthday card in the mail, I'm like, wow.
Well, I will put
And you don't do that. I mean, you
it's
don't send it.
it's in their
It's
basket.
in their basket, correct? But you provide transportation to a client. You have group projects coordinator, newsletter writer, answering phone calls, front desk admin, donate intake, client mentors, furniture pickup and delivery team, car loader.
Those are
That's
needs.
that's what I mean.
Yeah.
These are where you need help.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
And like you said, if they could somebody just gave you 5 hours a month, that adds up. If you have 5 people that give 5 hours, that's 25 man hours a month, which is huge. I cannot tell people how much I can move in 25 hours. It's a lot.
Yeah.
And you talked about the toiletry and cleaning items, the clothing, and the food pantry. So tell me and everybody else, and we have a few more minutes. You are involved with USDA. Tell everybody, how does USDA play a role in your programs?
Okay. Yeah. Well, the Blue Ridge Area Food Bank is our primary source of the food. Some of it is purchased, some of it is USDA. So we have two separate pantries. One is for USDA and one is community. It's kind of the role that they play is just like we order from them, they bring it to us, and we put it out. So I'm not quite sure what the way that we order is like through a click list, basically. And whatever they have, then we can get it, you know.
And you all are in the midst of a capital campaign, is that right?
Yes, we are trying to raise about $250,000 in order to put towards a new building. The one that we're in currently is a rented space, and our lease is up the beginning of October 2024. We have our eye on one. We're just waiting to see whether or not it's going to be available for us. And it's all on one level. 20,000 square feet is what we're looking for. So if anybody's out there, realtors or whatever, we're looking for this. But about 20,000 square feet, one level, just something to suit the needs for our clients, to make it easier for both clients and volunteers.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So the big bang end on this podcast is make a financial donation to the Agape Center Lynchburg for the new building.
Yeah, either way. Yeah, we'll take whatever direction it goes.
Yes, you will. Well, Debbie, thank you so much. This has been
Thank
awesome.
you.
And I'm going to have to come see the facility.
I would love to tour you around.
I'm going to come see the facility.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.